Well, good Yontif, everyone. On Erev Rosh Hashanah, I formally shared the news of my retirement, which will take place next June. So not tonight, not tomorrow, next June. Since then, I've been bombarded with questions like, what will you do when you retire? Will you write a book? Are you staying here? Can you still do my bar mitzvah? It seems like everyone has a plan for my retirement. After years of dispensing wisdom, I find myself on the receiving end of it, which is both humbling and at times amusing. To all of you retirees out there, I will soon be joining your ranks, taking naps, traveling, enjoying the freedom that comes with retirement. But I suspect, like most of you, I'll end up busier than ever. This phase of life has also caused me to reflect on aging. I'm not quite 70 yet, but I can feel it approaching. And the thought of stepping into this new chapter brings both anticipation and trepidation. Aging is a topic we all wrestle with, whether we are 50 or 90 or somewhere in between. And so I thought I'd like to start with a light-hearted story about aging. A 90-year-old couple struggling with memory went to see their doctor. After checking them over, the doctor recommended that they write things down to help remember. Later that evening, as they sat watching TV, the husband got up to go to the kitchen. His wife asked, "Can you get me a bowl of ice cream?" "Sure," he said. "Don't you think you should write it down before you forget?" "I can remember that," he grumbled. "And I'd like some strawberries on top too, and maybe some whipped cream." Got it. No need to write it down," he replied, annoyed. 20 minutes later, he returned with a plate of bacon and eggs. His wife looked at the plate and said, "Where's my toast?" Well, we laugh, but that story touches on a real fear many of us share, the fear of losing our memory, our sense of identity, our independence as we age. We fear the changes that come with the passing of years, and while it's easy to joke about forgetfulness or slowing down, the truth is that getting older raises deeper existential questions. Who are we becoming? Who will be left of us when we can no longer do the things that defined us? Aging is a process that begins far earlier than we'd like to admit. Those of you under 50 might be settling into your seats thinking, "Oh, this message isn't for me." But here's the truth, we're all aging, no matter where we are in life. Aging isn't something that happens at 64, as the Beatles suggest. It's happening right now. Every year, every Yom Kippur, we're 1 year older. Pirkei Avot, the ethics of the fathers, gives a roadmap. At 5, the study of Torah. At 13, the age of commandments. At 40, wisdom. At 50, able to give counsel. At 60, becoming an elder. At 70, the fullness of years. At 80, special strengths. Each age brings its own strengths and opportunities. The Talmud tells of Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, who was appointed as a leader at just 17 years of age. Overnight, he was miraculously given white hairs so that he might appear older and wiser. It's a beautiful illustration of the idea that wisdom doesn't always come with age, but sometimes age helps us embody the wisdom we've accumulated over time. There is a subtle shift that happens as we age, if we're open to it. The difference between simply aging and saging is profound. Aging can mean bitterness, a reluctance to embrace the present, or a focus on what's been lost. Saging, however, is a different path. It means embracing the wisdom we've gathered, the relationships we've built, and the purpose that still calls to us. There's a concept in Judaism known as zaken, which refers to an elder, but the word zaken is also an acronym for Zeh Shekana Chochmah, one who has acquired wisdom. Aging in our tradition is not just about surviving, it's about thriving with wisdom and purpose. It's about becoming a sage in our own lives. But how do we do that? How do we age with grace and wisdom in a world that often equates aging with decline? One of the lessons I've learned is that while we may not be able to control the number of years we have, we can control how we live them. We can control the quality of our relationships, our openness to new experiences, and our willingness to keep growing. I've been blessed to witness this firsthand during my 40 years as a rabbi, especially here at Congregation near Tamid. I have seen members of our community face the challenges of aging with courage, humor, and deep faith. I have watched you find strength in community, and I have seen how purpose, whether it's helping a neighbor, supporting the synagogue, or simply being present for your loved ones, can sustain a person through the hardest of times. And then there's a famous saying, you don't stop laughing when you get old when you stop laughing. One of the keys to aging well is holding onto our sense of joy, our ability to see humor in the world, and our willingness to continue learning. And Rabbi Heschel in his later years spoke of entering old age with the same excitement one feels when entering their senior year of college. He viewed aging not as a time of stagnation, but as a time of opportunities for inner growth. So let me share a story about a woman I know who embodies this spirit. In her 80s, she decided to take up painting. Now, don't think I'm going to take up singing. Don't get any ideas. But she did decide to take up painting. She had never painted before in her life, but she always had an interest in art, and she didn't care that she wasn't particularly good at it. She just loved the process, the joy of trying something new. And she said to me once, "Rabbi, people think I'm crazy, but I tell them I've spent my whole life trying to be good at things. Now I just want to enjoy the doing." Her story stays with me because it reminds me that as we age, it's not about what we've accomplished, it's about how we live. It's about the joy we find in simply being present and continuing to grow. And so as I look ahead to my own retirement, I realize that aging isn't just about slowing down or stepping aside. It's about deepening our understanding of who we are, what we value, and what we want to leave behind. There was a great inventor, Alfred Nobel. In 1888, his brother, Ludwig, died, and the newspapers made a mistake. Instead of Ludwig, they wrote his obituary, the one for Alfred, the inventor of dynamite. And what did the paper say? "The merchant of death died." And he read his own obituary, and he realized that that was how he was going to be remembered. The inventor of one of the most destructive weapons on earth. And he said, "That is not for me." And he decided to change his legacy, and from that wealth he created what we now call the Nobel Prize. And that is what he is remembered for. Time for a new chapter. I've created a lot of memories with this congregation. A lot of wonderful, wonderful things. And we have till June. and beyond. Because I hope that what I have shared stays with you as it stays with me. That together we age, together we grow, and together we find our new chapters in life. So I thought I'd give you a little bit more wit. Andy Rooney, remember him? If you do, you're aging with me, okay? I've learned that the best classroom in the world is at the feet of an elderly person. I've learned that being kind is more important than being right. I've learned that it's those small daily happenings that make life so spectacular. I've learned that life is like a roll of toilet paper. The closer it gets to the end, the faster it goes. He reminded us that the simplest things often hold the deepest truths. That life really does speed up the older we get. And while we can't slow it down, we can savor each moment, each laugh, each connection with those we love. Time to spend more time with the one I love, with Joni. She shared me with you a long time, hasn't she? You owe her a lot of thanks. Patient, loving, understanding, most of the time. But there's a lot of congregants, and there's only one of me, and there's only one of us. And let's not forget another observation about laughter. You don't stop laughing when you grow old. You grow old when you stop laughing. So it's not just about physical changes, it's about maintaining joy, humor, and a sense of purpose. For Rabbi Heschel spoke of entering old age with anticipation and excitement, not as a time of decline, but as a time for inner growth and discovery. So how do we keep from just aging instead of focusing on saging? It's about cultivating wisdom and living with intention. It's about relationships and continuing to engage with life with a sense of humor and a sense of wonder. Philosopher also said, I've learned that everyone wants to live on top of the mountain, but all the happiness and growth occurs while you're climbing it. We often focus on the big moments in life, but it's the everyday experiences, the relationships, the small kindnesses, the shared laughs that make life meaningful. And so, as I prepare to retire after 40 years in the rabbinate, 37 of them here in my beloved Ner Tamid, I've been blessed to learn many of these lessons from and with all of you. You have taught me that aging gracefully isn't about avoiding change, but embracing it. It's about building community, showing resilience, and living each day with intention. So this is my hope and my prayer, that we all continue to seek wisdom, joy, and love in every stage of life, that we embrace the aging process with grace, humor, and faith, and that we always remember that our legacy will be measured not by what we've done, but by how we've lived and how we've loved. Conjunctive.